Alright, welcome back. And I got my little Barbados cherry tree cutting. There's even a little cherry hanging there. Thought about taking it off to repot it, but it's small, maybe it will survive. I don't plan on being too rough with it. We'll see what happens. This was, there is a previous video to this one. This was just a cutting off the top of another tree. This was actually the part that came from the other tree. And when, it's been in this pot now for 1 year. When I first repotted it, this old thing here had like a couple little sprouts come off, and then this shoot just came right up. I pruned this shoot probably 10 times, just trying to, I was actually kind of hoping that it would push a little life back into this. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And also just kind of keeping that compact because it was just in this little small pot, but it is a fast grower. And so I just kind of want to get in here and I want to see what the roots look like. I can already see I got one circling on the top, so I don't want that. When I got this and took this cutting and I repotted the mother tree, it actually had some really nice looking roots. This, again, I think I made the mistake of using potting soil. It is one of those things, you take a cutting, if you can get it to live in straight bonsai soil, you'll have so much better roots, but also you got to keep up with the watering so much more, and I don't know, it's just conventional, gardening to use potting soil. I'm getting away from it for sure. But yeah, pot is full of roots. And there's the one on top there that I saw circling. So, really kind of curious to see. This was actually how the mother tree was too. But I straightened them up a bit, pruned it a bit, and it bounced right back. And it was actually just about exactly a year ago. I kind of looked through my pictures, and it was just about a year ago. I will put the link to the previous video I did on this in the description, and probably in the comments. And it looks like I used a lot of potting soil on the bottom, and just had a little bit of the good substrate on top. That's kind of unfortunate. When I do but at least some of these roots did find their way to the bottom, and that's not always good. You want them actually out radially, but they are nice and healthy. There's one coming straight off the stump, if we can call it a stump. But eventually, the mother tree to this one actually has some dead wood. Looks pretty nice, except for right at the base it gets a little algae on it, and I'm a little worried about that. The rest of it looks whoever had it before me put all kinds of wood glue or wood hardener or something on there. I thought about trying to put some lime sulfur on it to whiten it up some, but it looks like it's got so many chemicals on there, I don't know if I can get it to penetrate or not. Now, I just did a video where I teased out some ficus roots. These are a lot different. I'm trying to salvage a lot more if I can. This one has a lot more defined roots, where the ficus microcarpa just comes out in a big web of little tiny ones. This one has good small white healthy ones, but it's not quite the big web like the ficus had. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. I've been thinking that either I'd have to, these are just little twigs here, but either I'd have to have the patience to strip the bark off and put some lime sulfur on there, or, I don't know, leave it on there till it rots, maybe put some wood glue and wood hardener on there like whoever had the mother tree did. it's still bigger than the living part here, so I don't really want to run the risk of, well, I don't know. Suddenly I had a little thought of just cutting it off. It would make it a lot less complicated. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to tease these out a little bit better than I did. I mean, the ficus that I did, I mean, I bet $100 is going to survive. It's not going to be a problem or anything, but this is a lot different. Plus, I've got plenty of ficus to play around with. I only have this guy and his mother. So I should be able to get them in a pot and lay them out. Lay them out pretty radially. So I'm going to take the really long one off. And a few of these others that were going straight down. And I'm going to clean this topsoil mess up and come back and get this guy in a better training pot. Alright, I initially wasn't planning to, but I did take it out and run the hose over the roots there a little bit. Let's have a nice spread, and once again, just like the proper soil already, I would have been able to salvage much more, but nice spread. They're coming out nice and radially. I'm going to put this in one of my new training pots that I got a little bit deeper. Should be able to spread it out quite a bit. And here is that pot. I've already got quite a bit of soil in there. It is a lot deeper than the other training pots I've been using. So now this one was a lot bigger of a cutting. I did decide, just simply because, I mean, I could go ahead and cut that off, but sometimes actually cutting dead wood off, because, you know, no matter what, even if I did cut it off there, it would still be an unbalanced tree leaning over that way. And so, you know, maybe it'll even just kind of help balance it out a little bit or whatever. But I will put that towards this end, just in that. Actually, because I got the best set of roots coming off long that way, I'm actually going to go ahead and just put it in the pot like that. And what I was going to say is that this root ball that I kind of prepared there doesn't even lay flat on that because of the size of that cutting. The size of the cutting is really big, so I'm going to have to kind of just get it in there just a little bit. Now it's resting on there fine. Alright, so I think that turned out pretty well. Again, for the health of the tree, I kind of got it off center in the pot, but actually now that it's in here, looks alright. The dead part coming up there. And still got his little fruit hanging there. couple little blooms next to it. I'll have to keep an eye on them. If I had, if I had 10, 15 of these laying around, I'd probably put it right back out in the sun. But since I only have 2, and I'll put this in the shade for a couple weeks and just let it kind of recover here. See what happens with that cherry. If it ripens on there and looks pretty good, I'll assume that it's rooted in pretty well. See what happens with those blooms on there and everything.